Hello, Goddess. Welcome back. This is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. And in this temple space, I guide your inner goddess to bridge the mind, body, and soul through psychosomatic education, consciousness reconditioning, as well as alchemy and energetics. Come on in. It's such a lovely day to be a goddess. Today, we are going to be talking about slowing down your aging process, becoming more juicy, to hold your youthful appearance, and just anti-aging and staying young and beautiful, tighter and brighter. Before I get too deeply into this topic, please remember to like this video so that the algorithm can do its magical, mysterious thing. Please remember to share this video so that other goddesses such as yourself can receive this information. And please remember to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of my new subscribers. Welcome, 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 and welcome back for those of you that have been rocking with me for a while. Before I go any further, let me fix this. Hopefully, it's not too disruptive. Okay, I think that's a little better. Okay, so today we're going to talk about slowing down your aging process. This is another installment of youthfulness, anti-aging, because the other video did so well, and I was a little surprised that it did so well, because mainly what I talked about in that video, goddess behavior and anti-aging, which I will link below, I talked a lot about the energetic aspects of what I have done and what I had an epiphany about that has kept me young and youthful looking. So a little bit of background about me. I'm 36 years old, so I'm moving into my 40s sooner than later. And it's a little surreal for me because I don't really look or feel like I'm in my late 30s. I feel like I'm in my 20s. In fact, that's not true because I feel better than I did when I was in my 20s. I was not a devotee to my inner goddess when I was in my 20s, not to the extent that I am now. And so I have a deep awareness of the things that I need physically, mentally, and spiritually to thrive. And that automatically equates to me slowing down the aging process. But in that video, I just talked about some of the unusual things, energetic things, and things about my journey and my growth as a woman that have just contributed to me looking young. But today, what I want to do is get a little bit more three-dimensional. So that was like all the fifth dimensional stuff. Today, I want to get a little bit more three-dimensional. So actually, like beauty regimens a little bit and just like the physical things, okay? And also a little bit of background about me. I do have a pre-medical degree. I've worked in emergency medicine, the medical field, wellness. I've done energy work, body work. I have just made it my business to be a advocate for mind, body, and spiritual wellness throughout the course of my life. I'm grounded in science, currently work in wellness and the beauty industry. And I also just have this extensive fitness and body work background. So a lot of this information I talk about on a daily basis just in my everyday life. Okay. So let's talk about things that are going to slow down your aging process. The first thing, and this is a quite a chunk of what I have here, is masculine foundations. Okay. So if you want to thrive, you want to move into the vibration of thriving and feeling good in your life and in your body, slowing down your aging process, you need to have some masculine principles in store for yourself. So, masculine energy is like the cadence of our life. It stays consistent and it basically helps you to stay in the pocket of your rhythm of your life. So, the foundation that you want to master sooner than later, if you have not yet, is always going to be your nutrition, your exercise, and your watering process, how to keep yourself hydrated. And I pretty much outlined all of this inside of the 14-day Mind, Body, Soul Reset course. But you want to figure out nutritionally what it is your body needs to thrive. So one thing when I was younger, I used to eat a lot of dairy, and I used to eat a lot of steak And that was really creating some skin issues for me. It was creating weight issues for me until I learned how to detox my body, which then served as a natural allergy test because I removed all of the processed foods, the caffeines, the stimulants, the sugar out of my diet. And I learned how to discipline myself and detox with every season change, which I talk about in the course. And in that experience, I discovered some of the things in my diet that really made me feel vibrant. So, kale is one of those things. I find that I am my most healthy and just like I feel like the most high functional physically when I'm regularly eating kale and when I'm regularly eating cruciferous vegetables. And I also discovered about myself through that 14-day reset process that I actually created for myself 12 years ago, that I really like to eat red meat here and there, but other than that, plant-based. Like I really like to do like 70% plant-based. So you want to figure out like what does your body thrive on and what irritates your body, okay? But I can tell you just like across the board, gluten and dairy and any kind of animal product that has a lot of like hormones and chemicals in it is going to speed up your aging process, okay? Another thing that I want to encourage you to do is have an exercise program, which is a masculine thing. So you want to have the discipline to eat clean. You want to have the discipline to have a regular exercise program. So whatever your thing is, it could be, doing cycling, it could be pole dance like me, it could be yoga. You want to have some kind of physical thing that you are plugged into that's keeping energy physically moving through your body. And also, you want to be challenging yourself to strengthen because as you begin to age, exercising regularly is going to contribute to your musculoskeletal system and it's going to help contribute to the nutrients that you need in your body, like calcium, vitamin D, healthy proteins. So, exercising regularly is a healthy contributing factor not only to your musculoskeletal system, but also to your hormonal system. So, exercising regularly helps your body to be in a positive homeostatic state of regulation. So, exercising is very important. And then finding the nutritional lifestyle that is key for you through intuitive eating is so important for slowing down your aging process, getting ahead of that curve. And in the 14-day reset course, I also talk about alkaline eating. We talk about low glycemic index eating. Like these things are going to contribute to longevity in your life. Okay. And then water, of course. I can't say enough about water. The next thing that I want to talk about is having a skincare routine. So I know a lot of people have like these because I work with people's skin for a living. I work in the wellness industry. And some women have like these really complex skincare regimens where they're using like three, four, five products. And listen, if it works for you, do it. Whatever your regimen is, I don't care if it's inexpensive or if it's expensive, whatever beauty product your particular skin needs, get that product and utilize it and have that consistently as a part of your routine. Whoops. For me, believe it or not, I use one skincare product. One. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. They are not like a brand ambassador. Obviously, this channel is super small, but if y'all want to hook it up with some more Aveeno, so I use the Aveeno. It's like the oatmeal skin cream, and it just helps to tone. It helps me with blemishes, and it keeps my skin moisturized. I use that in the mornings and that's it. That's it. I'm not in the mornings, but at night before I go to sleep. And then my skin is just naturally like has a healthy balance of oil. So I don't really even have to apply it in the morning. Like less is more. I just do enough at night. Soon as I shower, cleanse my face. Sometimes I may use like what do they call it? What's it called? Clearasil or something. Sometimes I'll use like a Clearasil, but not really, not really. I use just like um chemical, like low chemical soap or chemical free soap that works for my skin. I cleanse it nicely and I moisturize it while my skin is still wet. And pretty much my skin is basically flawless. Like this is even just a sheer foundation. It's not even really like actual, this is pretty much like a sheer foundation. Like that's all I use for my skin. Now, if I start eating a bunch of dairy and processed foods and like wings and stuff like that, my skin, it will break out. But that's the one product I use. It's got SPF 15 in it. Make sure you're using your sunblocks. It doesn't matter if you have fair skin or if you're heavily melanated, you should have some kind of SPF in whatever it is you're using, because as you might not feel it now when you're in your 20s or your 30s, but as you start to age, from what I have observed from working with skin, particularly women's faces, aging women's faces, I will tell you that that sunblock cannot be overestimated. All right. So that Aveeno that I use, it's got SPF 15 in it. And I don't like let my face bake in the sun anymore. I used to when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I don't really do that anymore. So watch the sun. Okay, another thing that's going to help to slow down your aging process is to make sure that you are protecting your hair. So as y'all can see, I always wear my protective hairstyle. Did anybody see that video of Beyonce on her hair routine day? Honey, when I saw that Queen Bee had hair basically about down to her booty, I was like, yes, queen. Yes. Okay. So don't play with it. These protective hairstyles will help your hair to grow. Like you will have length upon length. Y'all saw my silk press last month. Y'all know your girl has length out here, and that's because I keep these protective hairstyles. So I'll either have it in braids. If it's not braided, usually I'll just like do some cornrows and I'll do my wrap on. Like that's my swag. And that's also my way of protecting my hair. So I protect my assets. Okay. And find a hair routine that works for you. For me, my hair, less is more. The less I manipulate it as a woman of color, well, really as any woman. So even if you have fair skin and you got that bone straight hair, if you're blow drying your hair every day, it's going to be thin, it's going to be fragile, like the quality of your hair isn't going to be great. So you really got to think about how are you taking care of your hair, find the products that work for you and just be consistent with it, nurture your hair while time is on your side so that as you begin to age, you're not already cutting off the clock by partaking in these bad habits when you're younger. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. The next thing is take a multivitamin. You'll be amazed at how far just a simple multivitamin can go. A multivitamin will like just the vitamins and nutrients that you need will give you that daily set. Even if you eat a bunch of fruits and vegetables, there's still vitamins and nutrients that your body is not getting from those meals. So finding a great multivitamin that works for you is great. For me, I use Performix. I want to get my Amazon cart. I had it, but then I lost it. But I like to use Performix. I think it's called SST multivitamin. I've been using that for a couple years. And I like that because it's kind of like got oily, like pearls. So it's not like a hard powder pill. So I like it because I can take it on an empty stomach. I do intermittent fast. And so I can still get my vitamins and nutrients in first thing in the morning without having to wait for my first meal that may be later in the afternoon. So that's why I like that multivitamin. And I take a multivitamin every day that I work. So I think I took did I take a multivitamin today? I took my nootropics today. So I either do a multivitamin or I'll do my nootropics, but any day that I have to work or leave the house to work, then I take my multivitamin. And speaking of vitamins, I also take nootropics, which is on my my link tree. I'll try to link it below. my link tree where my nootropics are. So I take nootropics. I actually take the same nootropics that what's his name? That Andrew Huberman takes. I'm a fan of Andrew Huberman and all of his life hack stuff. Like, we're in the life hack realm. We're like on the surface of life hacking. Like, if y'all want a life hack, I can do a life hack video, because I am like, the things I do to hack in like within the last year are like chef's kiss. They will make you live forever. But Andrew Huberman actually uses the same one. They're called Thesis nootropics, and that I do have an affiliate link. So I'm going to post that below. I've been using those for like 3 years now. I don't have to take them every day, only on days where I have to either like film or teach or do something that's really important, like take a test like I did last week. I love nootropics. Nootropics are very good for your cognitive abilities, and if you're just trying to live that high achieving high performance life. Like, I know I got boss women that watch this channel, or women that are just working to get to whatever your next level looks like. Nootropics are really good for that. Now that is it's not necessary, it's not cheap, okay, I'll put it that way. So it is erring towards the side of like a luxury wellness item, or like something, if you're like in your goddess bag where you're really investing in yourself and high quality stuff, I would say that. And before I get out of the realm of supplements and healthcare products, I do want to give an honorable mention to castor oil. So castor oil has been something that's been coming up for me lately. I remember being a kid, my mom would give us castor oil probably like once or twice a year. And you know, when you get that castor oil, boy, first of all, it does not taste good. Okay, first of all, castor oil is not what you want to be tasting. It tastes like basically like eating petroleum jelly. If I knew what petroleum jelly tasted like, it would probably be castor oil. But I mean, being healthy and being well is worth it. All you need is like a tablespoon of it. You can look up some videos on that, but that's been coming up on my feed. And also, I've met some women that actually use castor oil on their body, their hair. I think the next hair oil that I'm gonna get is probably like a black castor oil. I do use oil on my hair, on my roots, especially with the braids. So black castor oil is good for your skin. I know that it's good for cleaning you out if you need to clean out your digestive tract. And I've also heard, and you can do your research on this, that it's good for helping to slim down belly fat. And I've heard that it's good for uterine fibroids. And I know from way, way back that you can also do like castor oil compresses. You can like go do your research, and you can do that for like a liver cleanse. So if your lymphatic system needs a boost, you can use castor oil for that. So that's just a side note. Here in my next chapter of life, I want to be a little bit more dedicated to my detoxing and my cleanse process, like even on another level. So I'm probably going to be adding castor oil into my regimen soon. I'll let y'all know how that goes. All right. So the next practical thing that will slow down your aging is going to be having a good stretch routine. So we already talked about the importance of moving your body and exercising. Now let's talk about stretching. So stretching is essential. It's key, because when we stretch, we are moving stuck and stagnant energy through our body. So the body keeps the score. Okay. The emotional state is going to be your physical state is going to be a reflection of your emotional state. So if your physical state is a reflection of your emotional state, and you stretch and you move energy physically, emotionally, you are naturally moving that energy. Okay. Things hide inside of your body. Emotions hide in your body, wounds hide in your body. And without even having to pull out your journal or go into super deep work or going and getting a coach to help you to uncover these things and then move into your next level, you could just start stretching your body. You could just start stretching your body today and move that stuff naturally just by spending a little time stretching. So When you stretch, I recommend doing it after like a good workout. Make sure your body's warm and then dedicate like 20 to 30 minutes of just deep breath work in and out through the diaphragm and just stretching and explore your body. Okay. And just move into those positions that feel really good for you and also repeat them. So I find that when I stretch, and I move on to a different stretch, I like to come back to the previous stretches, especially my hamstrings and my hips. Like I stretch those a lot. Okay. And it just feels so good. When I used to be able to go to the gym and spend like 2 hours in the gym, which is now like a fantasy, y'all know I'm a gym rat. So spending 2 hours in the gym is like a fantasy. But man, I remember when I used to have that kind of time and I used to stretch. Excuse me, let me get some water. I used to stretch for extended periods of time. I would get so high. I would get so high because my body was so well oxygenated and I was just opening up these spaces and just releasing this stagnant built up energy. Stretching for extended period of times feels so good. Even stretching for a short period of time feels so good. And from what I recently learned, my most recent certification is that the best times to stretch are after a vigorous workout. It's more important to stretch after than before. You do a light stretch before, you do a deep stretch after, and then also before bed. Because when you stretch neuromuscularly, you're sending signals to your body to store that level of flexibility. So before you go to bed and your nervous system and the rest of your body system solidifies its experience from the previous day, right before going to bed, reminding your body that, hey, I'm going to be able to reach down and touch my toes. This is what I want you to do. Your body then stores that and upgrades your patterning overnight. So stretching is really great for those reasons and just emotional liberation. If you don't stretch your hips or move your hips, you are probably going to age more quickly because everything else in your life is a result of your creative life force. Especially if you're a human design generator like I am, your creative womb space is just like how you thrive. So stretch and move your hips and it will help you to live a long, healthy, and vibrant life. And then the last thing that I have here of a more of a consciousness thing rather than a psychosomatic thing, is really just getting lost and new experiences. I have found that in my life, like one of the things that really helps me to stay youthful is getting lost or putting myself in situations where I have complexity added to it. And when I'm in complex situations like taking a new course and I'm learning new information or I'm going to new places, it makes it expansive. So it makes me feel like I have to grow. And when you are young and when you are youthful, you are like a flower that is not yet in bloom. So if you are constantly putting yourself in situations where you now have to bloom into another level, you are inevitably in that fertile process of expansion. Does that make sense? So what I'm talking about is like spring, real springtime alchemy. It is the understanding that you always want to be putting yourself in new experiences to be blooming, exposing yourself to new information, going to new places. Because when you go to new places, there is a little bit of confusion that occurs again in your nervous system. And so your nervous system then has to work itself in a way to help you to process that. And so now you are creating new pathways. You're actually creating new nervous system pathways. If you go back and you repeat that experience, or if you really meditate and really receive and digest and process that experience, and you are also creating new other biochemical pathways as well, because now you are receiving the energy of that new experience, that new place, and now your subconscious has to reintegrate that into your system and into the framework of who you are. And so you are always evolving, you are always shifting, and so there is always more for you to expand into, and this will slow down your aging process. Because think about it, what do they call it when you're done working, you're done with the bulk of life? They call it retirement, right? Which means you tired. It's like tired is in the word retirement, right? And then before tirement is re. And anything that starts with that re, review, rewind, refresh, would imply that there's some type of repetition there, right? So to be retired and to be slowing down and entering the aging aspect of your life where you're closer to the end than the beginning is the opposite of having new experiences and working new biochemical, neurological, psychological pathways for yourself. So this actually, it's like one hand washes the other. So those mental experiences, those new physical experiences, emotional experiences, the new helps you to keep that dynamic shift in your life versus when you're retired and you are reflecting on everything that has happened versus going out there and having new experiences and creating new vitality for yourself. So being consistently engaged in life in a dynamic way, check out yambs.co, take a course, take the vibrational voodoo course. I think I'm going to change up the pricing on the courses so you can check out those updated prices. I'm going to bring them down to a more affordable level. Just because it's spring, I feel abundant. So I want to share that. And I want you ladies to start accessing these courses more easily. Keep yourself stimulated, and not always having to be stimulated by relationships or external factors that can be questionable or challenging. You want to be able to control your internal environment by creating a dynamic environment for yourself. It will help you to live forever. So dance, move your body. Oh yeah, and then another thing, that's what this note means. Another thing that I feel has helped me to slow down my aging process or age gracefully is my passionate love for music. When I was actually journaling out the notes for this video, I was listening to a song. I was listening to a playlist that I created a long time ago. By the way, I'm on Spotify, y'all. You can find me on Spotify. I have several deeply curated playlists. So to find me, you would have to click on Spotify, find Andrea, Mind, Body, Soul, and then you have to go view playlists, because when you first find me, it's only going to bring up like 2 or 3 playlists, but I have like other playlists. Pole vibes, I have one. Every single vibe is a good one. My meditation playlist is the one that I was listening to. And I was listening to this one song on the playlist, and I was having my evening relax time. And I found that, and I was also journaling. And I found that I was just having this chemical experience in my body in response to the feeling that the song was bringing up. And it just felt like, it felt orgasmic to me. It felt orgasmic. It felt like, how can I describe this? It felt orgasmic. It felt like a flower opening. It felt like tingly, and just the sensations that were going through my body from listening to this song with headphones in my ear and just breathing and just having that experience in my body. Now, this act, I have done this since I could remember, probably, yeah, since I was a kid. I've always experienced music in my body. So when I was a kid, I had synesthesia. Well, I actually still have synesthesia. I have to be super relaxed and or a little high to like really feel it and like deep inside of like some instrumental music to actually see sound. Because the thing about it is when we're young, now I'm going on a tangent, is when we're young, our senses, they overlap. one another more easily than they do when we begin to solidify into our adult life. So when you were younger, um, you were more easily able to taste the things that you smell. So your taste and your smell sensations are very intricately linked. I think it's through the cranial nerves or something like that. But like being able to visualize sound in your mind while you're hearing it, excuse me, is a one of those things that are like that dynamic on the spectrum of extrasensory skills. So feeling that in your body, feeling music in your body is going to, it just does something to my vibration that just makes me feel, it just makes me feel like spring inside of my body. And that's what you want. The more that you can create the feeling of spring inside of your body, the longer you're going to live. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself, when I'm having this experience, you could be painting, maybe painting is your thing. Maybe like drawing or coloring is your thing. Maybe going on a deep walk and hike and just tuning into nature is your thing. Tune into your body and ask yourself, what would spring feel like in my body? Is this moment that I'm having right now that sensation where you just feel like you're blooming, you're abundant, you're fertile, you're flowing? Yeah. And the more that you can find that sensation in your body and have that in your life, you're going to live a longer, more vibrant life. Because the only way that you can get to those experiences, vibrational voodoo, check it out on yambs.co. The more that you can get to that vibration, it means that you have moved all of the blocks out of the way that are hindering your experience, that connection and that experience. Okay. It means that you are healed. It means that energy is flowing. So tapping in with these significant emotional, physical experiences is a strong indicator that you are attuned with your goddess vibration. So I hope that you found this video enjoyable. It's been so good chatting with you all. Please remember to like and share. Comment below what feels like spring in your body. I would love to know. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a great pleasure. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. One love.